Ugh, job interviews, right? Just hearing those words can be pretty stressful. We've all been there. But what if you could walk into your next one feeling, I don't know, not just prepared, but like you were holding a clear, actionable roadmap to actually winning the offer? Well, that is exactly what we are going to break down today.
Okay, so let's really lean into this idea. What if you had the interviewer's playbook? I mean, instead of guessing what they want to hear, what if you knew exactly what they were looking for from their side of the table? Now, that's a perspective that gives you a serious edge.
And that's the whole key. See, the roadmap we're following today comes from somebody with over 2 decades of experience, not as a candidate, but as the person actually making the hiring decisions. This is the inside information, the stuff that truly makes you stand out.
So let's get right into their winning roadmap. We're going to break this down into 4 core actionable steps. Think of it as a journey, one that's going to take you from that initial research phase all the way to a confident offer-winning performance. Here they are, the 4 stages we're going to walk through. First, know your destination, which is all about building that solid foundation. Then we'll get into craft your impact story, which is how you become memorable. After that, it's all about how to prove it with numbers to make your claims absolutely undeniable. And we'll finish up with the final dress rehearsal to build that rock-solid confidence. Let's do this. All right, let's dive into step 1, know your destination. You might think that top-tier preparation starts with practicing your answers over and over, but it actually starts way earlier, with deep research. It's about doing your homework before you ever say a single word. Now, this checklist might look simple, but believe me, each step is so powerful. Reading the job description isn't just skimming, it's about decoding what they really need. Asking about the format? That tells you if you're walking into a behavioral interview or a technical grilling. And looking up your interviewer on LinkedIn? Well, that's how you build rapport and start to understand their world. Every single one of these gives you a tactical advantage. Okay, so once your research is solid, it's time for what I think is the most important part. Step 2, craft your impact story. This is where so many candidates completely miss the boat. It is not about listing your job duties. It's about telling compelling stories of the impact you actually made. And here's the fundamental shift in your thinking. You've got to move beyond just describing what you did. The real power, the thing interviewers are truly listening for, is the how and the why. How did you navigate that challenge? Why did you make that specific call? That's what shows them how you think. You can really see the difference here, can't you? A standard answer is basically a checklist. I managed the project. Okay. But an impact-first answer? That's a whole narrative. Here's the tough trade-off I had to make, and here's how I got all the different stakeholders on board. See, one is just a resume bullet point, the other is a story about leadership. So what actually goes into a great impact story? Think of it like a toolkit. You want to highlight a really clear problem you solved, you want to show that you took ownership, and you absolutely have to show a specific result. And that last point, reframing 3 of your key projects to focus on the outcomes, that is your homework. Do that before any interview. Which leads us perfectly into step 3. Prove it with numbers. Okay, you've crafted a fantastic story, but how do you make it completely, totally undeniable? Simple. You back it up with cold, hard data. I mean, the difference is just night and day. I improved the process. That's completely forgettable. But I reduced the process turnaround time by 28%? Wow, that is specific, it's credible, and it's super impressive. Numbers just cut right through all the noise and prove your value in an instant. So how do you have all these numbers ready to go? You create what our source calls a win sheet. And this is a total game changer. It's basically your personal career highlight reel. It's a living document where you track every single measurable thing you've ever accomplished. If you don't have one, start one today. I'm serious. And now for the final piece of this puzzle. Step 4, the final dress rehearsal. You have the knowledge, you have the stories, you have the data, but you have to be able to deliver it all smoothly and confidently when the pressure is really on. The process for practicing effectively is simple, but you can't skip it. Practice answering real questions with a timer going. Then, and this is the most critical part, you have to record yourself. Watching that recording back is where the real growth happens. You will see exactly where you need to be clearer, or more structured, or just more confident. So as we bring this all together, we get to the ultimate goal of this entire roadmap. You see, it's not just about having the right answers, it's about realizing that your confidence is the key that unlocks everything else.
And here it is, maybe the most powerful takeaway from our source. Experience opens the door, but structured prep gets you the offer. Just think about that for a second. Your resume gets you in the room, but your preparation is what actually closes the deal.
Ultimately, this is what it all comes down to. Following this roadmap, the research, the stories, the data, the practice, it all systematically transforms that nervous anxiety into earned confidence. You aren't just walking in hoping you'll do well, you'll know you are prepared.
Which really leaves us with one final question for you to think about. When you walk into that next interview, are you going to be just another candidate with experience on their resume, or are you going to be the one who is truly deeply prepared?